Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 75948. This is the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Clock Tower set, containing a total of 922 pieces and 8 minifigures for $89.99 in the US and other numbers in other countries. This was the second big Hogwarts expansion set to release. It came out in 2019 in the summer/fall wave. I think it was summer overseas and fall in the US. But this is the, kind of first big one, because the Whomping Willow is kind of small relative to the Great Hall. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a respectable size, this one, at least. I don't have the box for this because I did buy it used, but I do have the instructions, which are pretty normal instructions. I believe it's the same exact size as the Great Halls, and I think the Whomping Willow might have had the same footprint of instructions as well. And in the back, they do show you a couple of the features back here, as well as the full set built up, and you got an ad for the other sets that released in the same wave, of which I have Expecto Patronum, but I believe that that's it. I may get the Hagrid side eventually. And then we have this one here, which shows you all of them connected. I'm probably not going to show you all of them connected in this video. Yeah, I'm not going to show you all of them connected in this video because I don't think that my desk space currently can. But I do have the Astronomy Tower too, so once I have that built up, I will just do a video with all 4 of them. So, yeah, that's all there is for the instructions. Let's get into the build. So the majority of the set is based on Goblet of Fire, and the kind of Yule Ball scene is pretty prominent, at least in the set, and we do get a couple of little side builds to sort of help you flesh out the interior, sort of. I feel like this is probably supposed to be outside, but maybe not. You could use this inside too, but I guess maybe fake snow or something. But yeah, it's a Christmas tree, very reminiscent of many Winter Village Christmas trees. I like how they kind of brought a little bit of extra white in there to make it look extra snowy, but yeah, this feels like straight out of a Winter Village set. But, use the star on the top is okay. From the back it doesn't look as good, maybe. Would have been better if they could have molded this in gold, and that would have just fixed it a little bit. But yeah, just a Christmas tree. Though I do like these tables. I think that they're kind of neatly done. I particularly like this one with the whole crystal build up there. I just think that looks really cool, so, I'm happy with that. It's got like the kind of icy look going on there. This one is much less in the way of crystals, but it does have some drinks for, some people. So you can have a couple of characters standing around this table, and kind of looks decent. I mean, tables are sized pretty well, 2 figures. So I mean, nothing crazy special about these, but they're there, and I do like that they included them because it helps you kind of expand the scene out. And the rest of the build is all connected to each other. It's all this one big build here. And I just want to start with the exterior, and then we will turn it around and get to the interior. So you actually build this in a couple of sections. You build this small section here, which you'll see from the other side is basically just this Yule Ball dance floor mechanism. And then you build this section here, which this one section of roof likes to fall off a little bit more than it should, I think. But other than that, that's really the only stability issue that I've had with this set. Just when I pull that apart, it kind of wants to come apart. But yeah, this one, we'll see from the other side in more detail, but it's the bathroom and Dumbledore's office. And, it does have this whole little spire here with the little bit of sand green accent on the top in the form of those ski poles, which I think works pretty well, and that does kind of tie in with the Whomping Willow set. And that's like in the older Harry Potter sets, the full roof was all sand green, and here we just have little accents, and I think that works okay. And honestly, it probably wouldn't look extremely terrible, like if you tried to combine it with the older ones, but it's not designed to be. And then the third section here is the obviously most visually impressive from the exterior. And, it's the entrance to this clock tower. This window here is pretty cool. It uses a lot of these kind of great pieces for the square windows, which were newly introduced for the Harry Potter sets. And, yeah, I mean, it's got this little outside area, balcony-ish thing, which uses some of these scroll bricks in tan, which is kind of cool. There are a couple stickers throughout. I mean, I'm sure you saw all the ones on this one. in this section. But there are just a couple others here, one there and one right on the other side. Side to side, they're pretty similar. There's a couple different rocks placed down at the bottom, but I mean, it's okay. There's a little bit of greenery around the sides, which maybe is a little bit too bright for Hogwarts here, but it's okay. And I do like the use of these window pieces, which go all the way up this side. And this is slightly asymmetrical because it has this little corner sticking out on this side, which has this little section of roof. This roof is designed to connect onto the side here, just like that. They line up perfectly when you stick them in. And going all the way up to the roof, kind of a stepped design here, which works pretty okay. Use a couple of these pyramid slopes. Well, not pyramid, but like tent slopes maybe. Is a good word for them. I like how they have the roof come down in here and angle in to fill that in. There's a little bit of a tower right there, which also features a ski pole. And up here, another ski pole. This little window-ish surface here is built sideways, kind of clever, works pretty well. And then if we turn around to this side, you can see it is pretty much the same kind of roof detail going on in there. And I guess if you really wanted to, you could kind of hinge these out, but it's definitely not designed to do that, and it is very difficult to do. But I guess that doesn't, maybe that'll let a little bit more light into the back, but, they really don't need it. It doesn't really impact anything. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the exterior of Hogwarts. And over here we do have more pinholes, which would allow you to connect it to other sections, but if you wanted to, you could simply use it to rearrange this section of the castle and make this sort of weird look with that little, kind of cranny in there, which, from the inside doesn't work super well, but, it could be okay for what you are trying to do. But this gives us a little bit of a look at the interior. So we're going to start with the clock tower here. And inside, on the bottom floor, there is not much. We have this little representation of the Goblet of Fire, which looks okay. I mean, it's the goblet itself is nothing special here, but, it does have fire coming out of it. And we have a treasure chest here, which is completely empty and has nothing in it at all. So I don't really know what the significance of that chest is. But, I mean, that is what it is for that bottom floor. The next floor up, though, is a little bit more interesting. I believe that this is supposed to be Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. And, yeah, it's pretty small. You can't fit too much in here, but, I think that for what it is, it works. You do not get any of the Defense Against the Dark Arts professors here, but believe that this, since the majority of this is based on the Goblet of Fire, I believe that this is supposed to be when Moody is the Dark Arts professor. So, you could have gotten him in the CMF series, though the CMF series wasn't really easy to find when the set came out, so it would have been nice if they included him, or, some version of maybe a new variant of the character. But, yeah, I mean, the details in here are pretty good. There's a book on the desk, which allows you to open it up and see the Wingardium Leviosa instructions. You have some various potions and stuff on the back wall. I don't know what that is supposed to be, but you got something in that little dome there. Well, there's actually nothing, but, you could pretend there is. And in the corner we have a little chalkboard which does say Moody, and under there it says some sort of spell, which I'm not going to try and say. But, yeah, I mean, that's all there is for the Defense Against the Dark Arts room. Next up we have a representation of the hospital wing, which doesn't look too bad, but I don't remember it being in the Goblet of Fire, so I guess this is like the one room in here that wasn't really important in the Goblet of Fire, but I guess that's not a problem. I mean, it's fine that it exists, and it's nice that they've given it to us in one of these Harry Potter expansion sets, but, you can sit a figure on the bed. It's just about the right size for a figure with medium legs, but I think it should work enough for someone with, full legs. It's just if they have a big hairpiece and regular legs, they'll kind of hit the back roof. But basically, you've got these two hospital beds in here, and you've got these two nightstands with little lamps on there, and it is the same side to side. I like the use of these little curtains, though. I think that works pretty well. And basically, the majority of the reason that exists is so that it blocks this Technic Axle, because you have this little mechanism here. And what that does is, as you might have guessed, turn the clock here. So you can I do that. Obviously, you can't really change the hand separately, but if you set it to a time, you can then have it spin, and the clock hands will turn. The print for this dish is really cool, as well as the print for this shield up here, which is really cool. Other clock design. I believe that this clock design was used in the Winter Village station, but this one here is definitely new. And that could be a new print. I could just maybe not recognize it, but it looks very similar, at least, to the Winter Village one. But, I mean, it's a cool little mechanism, I suppose. And, I mean, even though it's not super duper important in the movie at all, it is kind of nice to get the hospital wing here. And to the next section here, I'm going to leave these attached because this one doesn't really get in the way at all. But the next section here, we have a representation of the Prefix Bathroom, which, is pretty small, but it looks pretty decent. And you got the water here coming out of those showers, I guess. Sort of works as that. But you got water inside there, which is represented by those nice medium azure tiles, which looks pretty good, but it's overall pretty simple. Though that sticker in there of the mermaid is a really, really fantastic sticker. And it looks great. It looks respectable from the other side. I just wish that the tan had been visible through the top as well. And then that would be, pretty fantastic. But regardless, it looks great, and it's nice that it's there. And I guess they could also alternatively just cover that up from this side, but I guess then less light would come through, so it probably wouldn't look quite as good. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, and definitely the highlight is that mermaid sticker. The next room up, though, I think is probably the most detailed of the batch in this set, and that's a representation of Dumbledore's office. And I guess part of the detail really comes from these stickers, where we have two really big stickers in the back. If we fold that forward, you can see them a little bit better. There's a sticker representation of Fox. Obviously, they have a really cool Fox mold now, so if they had waited a year, it would have been cool if they reused the Fox mold. But yeah, I mean, got some good detailing on the stickers there. You do have the sorting hat on the other wall, which is a pretty big piece, so I guess it makes sense that, they wouldn't be able to fit here. And it is also in the Great Hall set, so, you don't really need another one if you've been collecting all of these. But, yeah, Dumbledore's chair here is reasonable looking. It's got some studs that Dumbledore can stand on, and if we put Dumbledore in it, he looks reasonably okay. He's able to stand there. He can't sit down, obviously, but he can stand there, and it looks respectable. I really like the sticker that they use on the front of his desk. I just think that adds some nice detail. And he has like a quill pen. I don't know what that's supposed to be exactly, but then he also has this little glass. I believe that this is supposed to represent the pensieve. So, interesting build for that. And we do have some stickers on these little shelves, which I think that those look pretty okay, pretty respectable, and, pretty decent stickers. The two in the back are the same, and then these two are each unique. But, yeah, I mean, overall, Dumbledore's office looks pretty good, I think. There's also a little holder up here for what I assume would be the sort of Gryffindor, I guess. Obviously, they do have a really good mold for that now, so this set could have benefited from some of the Harry Potter Series 2 molds, but for the most part, it's that's okay. And over here on this side, there's really nothing in that little corner. But if we move to this side over here, we again get a really good look at the back of that sticker. But we have this little Yule Ball dance floor, which isn't like super, it doesn't really make the set feel super cohesive just because it kind of stands out a little bit when nothing else has Yule Ball decorations. But that's what we have these tables for, and this little Christmas tree. But you can basically take this and stick a minifigure here and there. And I know not all of these combinations will make all the sense in the world, but that's fine. We're just trying to stick people on here so you can see what this looks like. And throw Harry and Ron can dance, I guess. Sure. That works, I suppose. We'll leave the other one empty. But basically, you then just turn this around, and there's no like axle up here to just turn the whole thing remotely. You do have to spin it yourself, but it looks okay, and I guess that's kind of fun. It takes advantage of those newer splat gear pieces, which are a little bit bright here in medium azure, but I think it's fine. I think it works. Again, brighter than ice should be, but it kind of fits in with that theme. And yeah, this is okay, reasonably fun, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. As to the Yule Ball scene, allows you to, perform whatever dance scenes you want or whatever. First two figures that we have here are Harry and Ron in their Yule Ball outfits, and neither of these figures are exclusive because they were both reused in the Harry Potter Advent Calendar for 2020, so they were new at the time. So that was cool. And yeah, they both got new torso prints, and I believe Ron got a new face print. I think Harry's is the same as before. Maybe Harry's was updated, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And he also gets the Ninjago movie Lloyd hair in black, which looks pretty good for this version of the character. And if we turn this around, you can see their back printing. I like Ron's torso. It's got a good amount of subtle detail in there with the brown on brown printing for his little furry coat. But yeah. And the printings for their faces are pretty good, and they do also have alternate expressions, where Ron has his kind of angry face, and his second face is offset a little bit, but that doesn't really matter because you're only going to be able to see one at a time. Next up, we have Cedric Diggory and Hermione in her Yule Ball attire. Cedric is still exclusive. His torso is exclusive to this set to date, while Hermione was also reused in the Advent Calendar with the others. So, a little bit less exclusive, but still brand new figure for this set. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting one because they actually use a 1x2 brick with printing on it for her dress. Doesn't get any back printing, but that's okay, and it looks pretty respectably good from the front. It would have been really cool if they could have printed around all four sides. That would have been pretty interesting. And the hairpiece that she gets is actually particularly interesting, as it is a brand new color for a piece that really has not been used much before at all. It's the same piece that they used for the Queen from Series 15 and the Calamity drone, I think, from the Lego Movie series. So kind of an unusual part, but it's interesting to see it make a return here. I honestly didn't realize that it was the same until far after the set had released. I thought it was a brand new hairpiece. But yeah, her torso print looks pretty good. Cedric uses Han Solo's face from the Solo movie, which works okay. This particular copy, it seems like this version, like this side of the face, is printed down a little bit too far. So maybe it would look a little bit better if it was, a properly printed copy of it. But the other face is kind of not great. But Hermione's face is okay, and she does get some pretty good back printing. The flesh tone on her is pretty spot on, but it is on a very light colored torso, so I mean, you would expect that. And I decided to bring Ron back out here real quick just for a second to show you that with the brick and the plate, Hermione is exactly the same height as a character with medium legs. And the next two figures that we have are Fleur Delacour and Victor Crumb, and both of these figures are new characters for the for the Harry Potter revival sets. I mean, obviously they'd been in sets back when The Goblet of Fire came out, but this is the first time we've gotten them in a modern, updated look. And both the figures are in their Yule Ball attire, as you would expect, because everyone is really in the set. And they both look pretty decent. Their torsos are both exclusive to the set, which is cool. They both reuse faces from other characters, though. The back print on Fleur is a little bit light on the skin tone. It is in a little bit light printing, so it comes out a little gray. And the faces that we get used are Ellie's from Jurassic World, which is a little bit more common than this one, which actually is the face used for Sam Flynn from Tron Legacy. And it remained exclusive to that set for a couple of years, and then it's finally reused for Victor Crumb because they decided that it looked particularly good for him, I guess. I mean, I definitely see it with this face. I think this face is fine for him, but the smiling expression is kind of not very Victor Crumb-like. So, I mean, you're probably always going to keep it like this. I guess it's fine that they reprinted it, but yeah, I don't know. I would have preferred a new facial print for that character, especially since they used him in a couple sets. And they could have just introduced one new print for all of them, but this is okay. Ellie's face looks okay for Fleur, but I just don't really particularly like that facial expression, or that face print. This expression, not a big fan of, but I don't know. It just, the whole face, both sides of it, just kind of look a little bit weird to me. I didn't say this before, but everybody in the set gets a wand as their accessory. And then last up we have Dumbledore in his Yule Ball attire, as well as Madame Maxime. She's a character that I don't think we've ever gotten before. Obviously, she's in another set that came out at the same time as this one, but she was brand new between the two, and she had different outfits in both sets, so this is still exclusive. Though she's particularly unusual is because she uses a very tall leg dress slope piece. We've definitely never seen that printed like this before, and the printing is actually really well done throughout the whole figure here. I've got like a metallic purple kind of design, as you can see, and it just came out really well. Dumbledore gets a recolor of the hat from the first series of Harry Potter minifigures. Yeah, looks pretty good actually, and the beard as well. The beard is the same color as it was before, but it looks good still. And if we remove that, we're able to see his face print is not exclusive to the set or anything, but it is here, and it is pretty decent looking. He's got the one face here without glasses on, and the other face he does have glasses, and you can see they did not skimp out on the detailing on his torso, because there's, even though it's covered by his hair and his beard, there's some pretty fine detail there, which looks pretty respectable. And Madame Maxime does also have an alternate facial expression. I believe it's only used for her in the two sets that she comes in, but still, it is a pretty decent facial expression, and I think it definitely suits her. So, both of these figures are pretty good, and I think that Madame Maxime is probably the most desirable here, but Dumbledore is also pretty cool. Yeah, I think that this is a pretty respectable expansion to the other sets. Obviously, I didn't show it to you with them all connected, but I'll be doing a video on that soon if you are interested. It's overall, I think, pretty strong. It's got a good amount of visual presence. It's not like the Whomping Willow where pretty much the only draw of that is to attach it to the Great Hall. I think this actually looks pretty reasonably displayable on its own, so that's a good thing. The one complaint I have about it is this one section of the actual castle that is very Yule Ball centric and doesn't really feel like it fits in with the other sections next to it, but the rest of the castle from the outside looks good, and the rest of the interior rooms are pretty good. It's just this one weird section, and you could easily just pull this out and just not use this section with the rest of it, and then you'd have still that much of Hogwarts. But having the Yule Ball figures, I think, is good, because it does mean that every figure here is new if you just have the other Hogwarts expansion sets, and then all of these are going to be interesting figures to you. It would have been nice to maybe get one or two, characters from Hogwarts that belong at Hogwarts that we haven't gotten before, but I think that this is reasonably fine, because you do get the new characters of Cedric, Victor, Fleur, and Madame Maxime, who are characters that you won't have at all from the other expansion sets, because Cedric's in the CMF, so I guess you would probably have him. But yeah, it's overall a pretty decent set, and I think the size of it is pretty comparable to the Great Hall, so I think that the value feels like it's there. It's it is significantly smaller, but you do have a lot more interior going on with a lot more different rooms and a lot more usable space inside that isn't just the big Great Hall room. So it is nice that you get more rooms and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Looking forward to building the astronomy tower and combining everything all together. So hope you guys enjoyed this little review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.